Creativity is what?
It impacts absolutely every part of the way that we live our lives.
Creativity matters because it makes life interesting.
It equips you to deal with uncertain situations, with new situations, and not be afraid.
Creativity is important in this day and age. It keeps things changing and growing.
Well, I think it's the key to everything, frankly, that we need a lot more creative thinking, just generally.
You have to push the limits. If you don't push the limits, you're going to be gone in a year. No one's going to care.
Courage is like an inherent skill that's like required to be an artist.
Courage is what gives you the power to create.
It sounds sort of corny, but you have to be brave, which I remember when I heard that, I was like, nah, you just make art easy enough, right?
Usually if something comes too easy for me, it's maybe not the most efficient way to work, but I would tear it apart and try to make it more difficult or harder.
If you're not sort of walking that fine line of something that's slightly risky, then you're not pushing yourself hard enough.
I often spectacularly failed, but I learned a lot about how to sort of approach things differently. So failure is great, I love it, most of the time.
I don't think there is such a thing as failure. You just make amends, you move on, and I think it's just the long experience provides you with the means of not dealing with failure. I think the concept is not a good one anyway. You don't worry about failure per se.
I've always lived with this idea that if something's not fun, it's probably not worth doing.
Why is fun important?
Art has to be a little bit fun to make or you won't make it anymore.
When I create, I don't know if I have fun with it, but I relish in just getting my hands dirty and trying to resolve problems.
We have to enjoy ourselves. We have to give as much as we need to be a part of life and be part of the flow.
I think we're living through a paradigm shift, and the only way to meet that well is to be a creative person.
Being a creative person, I would always challenge the ones that were kind of set in their ways and not think past, 1 + 1 is 2. We all get that. But when you're creative, you don't want the answer to be 2. You don't want it to be that simple. You learn not to be, complacent with 2. You want something more.
So much of what we're talking about requires a little bit of space. Like being creative requires giving yourself more space than I think people typically want to give themselves to delve into an issue.
Some of the struggles and things that really made life hard at times are the parts that make me who I am today. So there's not really much I would change, because then I would be changing me.
Yeah, I think I agreed with my stomach and just decided to stick with art.
There are many, many, many things in my life I haven't done yet, so definitely I would be an explorer to the end, I hope.
You can't plan a journey. I think, no good journey is fully planned, because as soon as you try to do that, it will become derailed and you're going to have to figure your way out. And that essentially is the creative process.
The amount of late nights over red wine that I've had with artists, with this exact same question. What is creativity?